Today, we're going to revisit a subject on whether or not a GPU is actually required for a gaming system. And we're going to do that with the new 5000 series AMD APU. Stay tuned. I hope this one's better than the last one. So the last time I did this video, or a video similar to this, I did it with the Ryzen 3 3200. It was the lowest end APU that AMD offered, and it actually had some pretty good results. I mean, especially considering what it was. It's been pretty well known for a while now that the best bang for the buck for an AMD processor for gaming is the Ryzen 5 3600. Now yes, there are faster processors, but for the price, the 3600 has been hands down the best bang for the buck you can get. And this processor that we're looking at today is the Ryzen 5 5600G. This is the Zen 3 version of the Ryzen 5 with 6 cores and 12 threads. This one has a base clock of 3.9 gigahertz and a boost clock of 4.4 gigahertz. And it comes with Radeon 7 graphics on board. Now this one right here, I've seen several videos of this processor because you know they've been out for a while. This CPU right here typically came in OEM computers up until just recently. You can now buy it in a retail box. Before that, you could really only pick it up on eBay, and sometimes you had to buy an entire system to get it. So it wasn't really worth getting. But now you can get this in a retail box, which makes it much more accessible for people wanting to build a new system. And considering the fact that GPUs are still hard to get, it might be a good opportunity to use a CPU with integrated graphics to get you by until GPUs come up. Several videos that I watched prior to doing this one shows that this processor performs about equal with a GTX 1030. Now, if that's the case, that really will be a good alternative to use in a system while you're waiting for GPUs to come available. Now, I understand that a 1030 isn't the best GPU that you can get, but today we're going to put it up against a 750 Ti and see how well it does. If it can beat a 1030, surely it should be able to beat a 750 Ti, right? Well, we're going to have to take a look at that and see if it does. So before we get into the benchmarks, let me go over the system specs that we're working with here. The test system is going to be the eWaste gaming PC. Essentially, all I'm going to do is switch out the processor for the new 5000 series processor. I did have to update the BIOS in this thing in order for the processor to work. This is a B450 motherboard, so being it's a B450 motherboard, it needs a BIOS update in order to run a 5000 series processor. Now this computer right here, I had to upgrade the memory to 16 gigs because before the eWaste gaming PC only had 8 gigs of RAM. When you're sharing memory with the processor's integrated GPU, it takes away from the memory the system has available to it. So I went ahead and upgraded the memory in our eWaste gaming PC to 16 gigs just to make this a fair test. And also, I would recommend if you're going to use integrated graphics to use as fast a memory as you possibly can. I'm only using 3200 in this one, but that's because that's what I had. You should be able to use all the way up to 4000, and the faster the memory you get, the better performance you're going to get out of the GPU that's integrated into the processor. Now, other than that, everything else is the same, especially the 750 Ti that this system has in it. I'm going to go ahead and run the benchmarks with the 750 Ti and then run them with the integrated graphics, and we're going to see which one runs better. And hopefully this APU will impress me. But considering how our last video went with an integrated GPU, I'm not really thinking it's going to, but you never know. Let's take a look at the benchmarks and find out. So the first benchmark we're going to look at today is Black Mesa. The settings in Black Mesa were set to 1080p with everything set to high. And with those settings, we were able to get 70 frames a second off the 5600G's integrated APU. That also gave us a 54.31% low. However, hoping that this was actually going to be an improvement over the 750 Ti, unfortunately it wasn't. The average FPS with the 750 Ti was 90.3 with a 1% low of 71. That's a full 20 frames a second faster on the 750 Ti. So at least in this game here, the APU in the 5600G doesn't even come close to holding a candle. So let's move on to the next benchmark and see what we got. The next game we're going to look at today is CSGO. CSGO was set to 1080p and all the settings were set to high. Now with CSGO, this game is known to have really high FPS with fairly low hardware. So I was hoping for a big jump with this APU, and we actually did do pretty good. With the 5600G, we got an average FPS of 95.5, which is actually pretty respectable. That's definitely playable. We also got a 1% low of 46.5, which, you know, isn't great, but the game was really smooth. It played really well, so I had no complaints there. However, once I switched over to the 750 Ti, we got 126 average FPS with a 1% low of 85.3. That's over a 30 FPS difference between the integrated graphics on the 5600G and the 750 Ti. Now let's move on to the next benchmark. Next game we're going to look at today is GTA 5. Now with these open world simulators, they rely a lot on the CPU. However, they definitely make use of a good GPU, as we found out in other videos. And I made sure to not go easy on this APU with this game either. I set it to 1080p and had all the graphics settings set to high. These are the same settings that I've used in other benchmarks in the past with the 750 Ti. And with that, the 5600G was able to clock in at 55.4 average FPS with a 1% low of 46.5. Now that's actually pretty good. It's definitely playable, and considering that this is an APU, that's actually not bad at all. However, when we switched over to the 750 Ti, we got an average FPS of 74.2 with a 1% low of 60.5. That is a full 20 FPS faster with the 750 Ti than it was on the 5600G. And this is actually starting to become a pattern. All of these games are within 20 frames a second of each other so far. Now, let's go ahead and turn it up a notch and look at a newer game and see how this thing performs. Now the next benchmark we're going to look at today is Red Dead Redemption 2. Now this game here is definitely resource intensive, and because of that, there's no way I could run it at 1080p. It would just be unplayable. So I've had to set this one down, even on the 750 Ti, to 720p, and that's going to make a really big difference. Because the resolution is so low, it's going to make it a lot less GPU dependent. So I think that the scores are actually going to be a lot closer in this one. I set the texture settings to the very last prefer performance setting before it goes into medium. And with that, the 5600G scored an average FPS of 40.8, which is the lowest FPS that we've scored so far in all the games that we've tested. However, this is a very resource intensive game, and at 40.8, it's definitely playable. However, with that said, once I switched over to the 750 Ti, this is the very first time the 750 Ti lost, and it lost at 40.2, which really isn't that big of a loss. It's a 0.6 FPS difference between these two games. Because the resolution on this game is set down to 720p, like I said at the beginning, it's going to be a lot less GPU dependent, and that's probably why these scores are pretty close. So in this game specifically, it doesn't matter. The GPU runs just as good as the APU. So at least technically, we have one game that gave it a win. So now let's move on to the final thoughts. So as you can see from the benchmarks, it didn't do that great. It couldn't even keep up with a 750 Ti. To try to salvage this, what I tried to do is I tried to overclock this processor to see if I can get as much performance out of it as possible. And I was able to get a 4.5 gigahertz overclock on the CPU on all cores, and it was pretty stable. However, I couldn't get the APU to overclock at all. This thing was locking up at literally 20 megahertz over its base clock of 1.9 gigahertz. I couldn't get anything out of it. I have seen other videos where people have been able to overclock the GPU in this thing up to about 2 gigahertz. And if that was the case, it may have actually helped some of our benchmarks. But apparently I didn't win the CPU lottery on this one. And this one, the GPU could not overclock at all on. Possibly, if I had a little bit better cooling, I could have gotten a better overclock on it. However, if you're buying this processor, you're looking at about $295 is what I paid for this one. And you can get a 5600X for about 20 bucks cheaper. So if you consider the price of actually buying a cooling solution for this thing, you know, honestly, you could just buy a 750 Ti on eBay and make it a wash, and it looks like you'll have better performance. And then once it comes time that GPUs come back in stock, you can just swap out the 750 Ti for something a little bit more reasonable. It's exactly what I'm doing on this one. The 5600X actually does outperform the 5600G in pretty much across the board. The only benefit to the 5600G is the fact that it has the integrated GPU in it. However, if the integrated GPU doesn't perform, then it might not be worth getting. It might just be worth saving your money for a regular GPU. So in my opinion, I don't think the 5600G is a good option to get you by until graphics cards come in stock. However, if you're just wanting to build a basic system that has the capabilities to play games, then this is a great processor. As you can see from the benchmarks, it played all the games we threw at it, and it played them all at well over 30 frames a second. So if you're just building yourself a basic system, but you want to have the capabilities of playing games, then this is a great processor. At $295, it's really not that bad of a price. And the integrated GPU really does work well compared to integrated GPUs in other processors. However, if you're building a gaming system and your intentions are to get a discrete GPU at some point, then nah, I probably wouldn't go with it. I would go with the 5600X and then throw just a cheap get-you-by GPU until GPUs come back in stock. This 750 Ti may not be the best in the world, but it works really well, and I game on this thing all the time, and I like it a lot. So there's definitely options to get you by until GPUs come into stock, and this unfortunately isn't it. If this was helpful to you, then please like this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so you can be notified of future videos. I post a new video every week. And hey, before you go, check out a couple of these videos. Have a great day.